Hello, I'm Sam Muscat and I'm your host, and you're listening to The Local, coming to you directly from Altona. If you'd like to be a part of The Local, you can get in contact with Scarlett Rose, and there'll be more details at the end of this episode. So stay tuned to this episode, and thank you for joining us. It's a great opportunity today to be here to have a conversation with the Mancini Real Estate Agency Group. It's a family affair, a real family affair. And of course, this podcast is being sponsored and supported by the Altona Traders Association. With me this morning, I have Leon and Serena. And of course, Eric. It's a real family affair. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure. Thank you for joining us. And what a story. Serena, tell us a little bit about the journey that you've taken to get to this point. But you started in 1990. So what was that journey? You must have started at a pretty young age.
I did. I left school and I got a job in real estate in Pier Street at 18 years old. That was the beginning of a passion, just loving property. And not only that, is just helping people. I think when people come to Altona and are looking for a property, they don't realise the hidden gem that we have in Altona, with beautiful beach, the pier, the paths, the coastline.
But, just to take you back to 1990 when you started, or prior to that, because you started off in real estate.
Yes, correct.
As a young lady, what was the area like back then?
Oh, well, very different, very different. A lot of changes, new developments, a lot of properties are being subdivided due to the rising cost of property.
Yeah, of
it's just excelled. Yes, over the years we've seen highs and lows in property, in the economy. But Altona is a place where once you establish, what it has to offer, a lot of people, there's no turning back.
No, there isn't.
No, there isn't. A lot of people that move into the area stay in the area.
So, Leon, when did you meet this beautiful woman?
We're both working in real estate for different companies, and we're both using the same car park.
This is going to be a really good story.
But I've been selling real estate since 1976. So when Serena started, she started at 18, I started at 21. But I was selling real estate for the majority of our uncles, because they're all in construction.
Okay.
So they all got to know me, and the type of service they used to give, service above expectation. And everybody loves that sort of service because they know everything is done A1.
Yes.
And over the years, then we start talking about, have you got a girlfriend? I said, no. So we know that just the right girl for you. I said, oh, yeah, really? And where is she? What's her name? That's Serena. She worked in Pier Street. I said, she worked in Pier Street? Really? Where with? Anyway, they told me then, those days, a lot of the agents are getting lazy. They used to do multiple listings so you could sell those houses.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
You could sell that. The listing agent gets 15%, and if I sold, I get 85%. So the first day I walked in, my boss, Jeff Golden, he put all the multiple listing on my house, on my desk. And there was one from the office where she used to work, on that burner. And I had a buyer for it. So I rang up, I said, look, I need to keep on this property. Yep. And just answered the phone.
The love of your life answered the phone. Beautiful.
Well,
what a story.
Anyway, so after the years, we got to know each other, and we got married in 1979.
Geez, that's amazing too.
And
Geez, Erica, do you hear this story?
I've heard this story.
Oh, okay, all right.
79 was the day we got married, and but we've both been working in real estate, and that's all we really know.
Yeah.
Before that, I did an apprenticeship, which only lasted the time I got it.
What apprenticeship did you do?
Fitting and turning.
My apprenticeship, fitting and turning. It used to be the thing back then, fitting and turning.
I did it at Footscray, one of the places, you might even know the place. It's no longer there. It was called Modern Made.
Yeah, Modern May.
Metas before that.
Yep, and Metas, and it used to be on Gordon Street across the road from the ammunition factory where I did my apprenticeship. So there you go. What a connection.
Could have been catching the
Absolutely, absolutely. What a connection. But, going back to, if you go back to the days of Altona, back in the 90s, what an opportunity, what a growth place it was too. It must have been a real boom for both of you. And I'm going to get to you too, Eric, don't you worry. But it must have been a real growth opportunity in Altona. You would have seen a lot, surely.
So it's been always a great place to live and work and also bring your family up. I think Serena touched on that earlier on. We got everything we need. We got, she mentioned, we've got 3 railway stations. It doesn't matter where you are, you're close to the railway station. You got the beach, you got the golf course, you've got all sporting facilities within walking distance. And like my sons were playing soccer in Altona City, my grandsons are playing soccer in Altona City.
Yeah.
And it's really a family thing for. I'll call it more like a nice village to live and bring your kids up.
Yeah, it would have been a village back then too,
Correct.
I still remember as a young kid coming to Altona to go to the beach. There wasn't much around except for factories. There was a few homes, especially around this area in the older part of Altona. But, once you got next to Pier Street, there wasn't a great deal except some of the old houses. But again, it would have been boom times for real estate. Back then.
I remember Altona Meadows, it was paddock.
Well, that's how I remember it.
Vacant land, just paddock and paddock and paddock. And look at the change, all these homes and families moving into the area, close to the golf course, close to the beach, close to,
Very central, isn't it, when you think about it?
thing at our fingertip. Yeah, we really do.
And I just want to cross over to poor Eric, who's sitting here listening to the old stories and probably taking it all in too. Eric, you have grown up into the business and, you're a part of the business. How does that make you feel?
Look, I'm very proud to work for the family business, but how that works with loving Altona and running this business is that it's a very centralised company, but simulates really well with the local community.
It does, doesn't it?
I was born in Altona Hospital. I went to school in Altona, played sports in Altona. I work in Altona. So the joy with our job is because we're working very closely with families, and most of the business is, people either upgrading the family home or they're downsizing. It's not many professions where you can integrate so closely with the community. Yeah, and you asked me earlier, do we enjoy our job? We love our job because you get that sense of purpose. When my kids say to me, Eric, every time you go to the supermarket,
everybody knows you.
You talk to everybody, and that's a real joy. There's not many professions where you can be established for so long and still help people achieve their next step.
The obvious is that you'll be proud of Mum and Dad for setting up this business, but it's given you a great opportunity. And we were saying off the air too before, now you're 2 boys.
Yeah, absolutely. So I learned how to raise my parents through the interaction and the skill sets that my parents have instilled in me. So, on the weekend, I take my kids to work. Leo's 12 and Alessio's 8. Regardless of their age, I bring them out on the weekend.
Oh, interesting.
And I show them what life is like and, the difference between a good choice and not a good choice, and hope to raise some good leaders.
Yeah, well, I think it's a credit to you, and I think, of course, it's a credit to Mum and Dad, but it's a credit to you now that you're raising your boys into the business too. So eventually they'll be a part of the business also.
Yeah, we would like to see that, but obviously there's no pressure. But being centralised in Altona, we've got a great opportunity to run a really good business, but also work well with the people of Hobson Bay.
That's right. Serena, I've noticed that you've won a number of awards, or the business has won a number of awards. So the Business Excellence Award, Leader of the Year, Property Manager of the Year, Sales Secretary of the Year, the list goes on. Australian Achievement award, the sales team of the year, administration control of the year. Oh my gosh. And salesperson of the year. Wow. Now, this is, of course, the family that have won all this, or has this been individuals?
Individuals. A family is one of the business excellence, and individual administration control of the year. That was myself, and a few other awards. And obviously, like I have a passion for real estate, but I love bookkeeping, and that's my strength.
Yeah.
I love legislation as well.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I love that side of it. And yes, we've had a bit of that, especially with the changes in the rental market at the moment, and a lot of constant changes.
You would have found that to be a great change, because I remember years and years ago with the rental rules, it was a little bit more flexible, whereas now it's heaps more, if you like, strict. It's very narrow-minded, in my opinion. We were talking about it earlier this morning, and it's almost like you got to wonder who's got the power, the renter or the owner. You would have faced all those changes.
Explaining, because the owners of properties get very overwhelmed by all this information. So I think from my perspective is understanding it, and then talking to the owners about the property, but simplifying it, so it doesn't become overwhelming for them.
I think that's simplifying it when it's so difficult.
I think having conversations and just, explaining it step by step, instead of just sort of dumping it, in an email and just dumping it all on them is...
So does that make you unique in the real estate industry where you're walking through? Because I've heard not very many good stories about real estate agents, in the sense that when it comes to rental properties, especially about the owner of that property really having a firm understanding and having the opportunity to say, well, I'm not happy with this person that's renting the home for whatever reasons.
Well, I guess it's that personalised service, and making yourself available. So if someone is confused or not sure, being there for them, and picking up the phone and having a real conversation about the questions or queries they may have, that's what separates us.
Yeah. So, Leon, have you found anything like outstanding in this respect? I mean, with difficulties, when I talk about outstanding, not outstanding in a positive sense, but outstanding in a negative sense.
The difficulties in life, forever there. But what we learn to do is to study hard. The whole team, we go to real estate conventions on a regular basis. The long list of awards and prizing and testimonials come thick and fast. We learn and then we put it into practice.
Yeah.
I think the sales service that we give is far above a client's expectation. So if a client is happy and you've got their trust, you've got a strong business.
I suppose it's about trust, isn't it, really?
Trust you, they'll buy with you.
Yeah, and they will confide in you in everything, won't they?
Correct,
and the other thing too, is they don't only come back, but they bring friends.
Yes.
And all the years I've been in real estate, that's nearly 15 years, I never had to look for a client. I always had more business I could handle.
Wow, that's saying something, isn't it?
And even now I get phone calls, like the other day, we're going with Serena somewhere, and this friend of mine said, I would like to sell my property. You manage it. And I sold it to him some 15 years ago.
Wow.
Now clients from 30 years, 40 years ago still remember my name. So it's not a real estate job. I don't know what it is, but I'd say it's you become a profession.
Yeah, I think it's more about what you can actually give back to the community, and because you have a great understanding and appreciation of the community that you live in, and you've been living in it for a long time, you get to know, and I think Eric really summarised it when he said, you walk in the shopping centre and he's better than the mayor because people know Eric, the mayor would walk past and people wouldn't know unless you live in his electorate or her electorate. Whereas
there's just a sense of care.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of purpose. And when you're doing the same industry in the same street for so long, It's not a business, it's a lifestyle,
It is a lifestyle, isn't it? Well said.
you know. And I think the difference between running a business and what we do is there's a deeper sense of purpose.
You would say that it's more family orientated too, yeah, because they're taking you into their confidence and vice versa, and they're relying on you not just for the best deal, but for a real care service.
Deal is the byproduct of
Yeah.
doing the job right, but really the job is the client, and the client is in Hobson Bay. So it's a lot deeper than just the transaction. The transaction is just the applause you get for delivering the outcome.
Yeah.
But for example, if we deal with, you know, I won't name names for the
No,
purpose, but, you know, if a client says to me, look, I've been in this home for 45 years. I love the home. I've had my family here. My husband's not around anymore. It's time to go. You take on a certain responsibility, not only to help that person sell their property, but you also be their confidant and their support and their structure.
You become part of that family, don't you?
For their next phase of life.
Yeah, true.
So you take on a certain personal responsibility, and when you're dealing with lovely people that we do have in the community, it's not a hard job.
Yeah, and I think your father has probably articulated that by saying it's a profession, but it's beyond just being a profession. It's about being a part of that family, and that family grows with you. Right. E.g., as you've just said, you know, I sold a house 14 years or 15 years ago, and they've come back to me. You know, I haven't gone looking for the business. So that says something in that excellence.
But in that, the key thing here was it's a family home and they've been there for 45 years.
I got that.
That is the element in this, yeah? Understanding that, you know, they are selling a family home where they created so much memories, yeah?
Their life has been in that home.
That's right.
And especially when you think about a new Australian.
Yeah, when you take that on, like Eric said, the key thing there is that it is their family home. So we walk hand in hand with those clients, yeah, because it is their family home, yeah. That's the difference.
But I was about to say, like, you know, when you think back when you started, there would have been a lot of new immigrants that came here, made Altona their home, and their 40 years plus has been only in Altona. You know, so they've brought up their children there. They started to work in Altona. E.g., you're a great example of that, you know. And look at your example now. Your boys are actually doing exactly what you have done. They go to school in Altona, they're living in Altona, and probably with a bit of luck, they might end up working in Altona. Yeah, but yeah, well, of course. I mean, they will make their own decision. But yeah, I mean, that's so true. And you do become a family unit, not just as in this family, but a family unit in part of the other families.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
What needs to be said too, Sam, is that by being a family business, we understand the family need.
Absolutely.
And if you know their need and you can deliver service above expectation, it becomes pretty strong business. And also, sometimes, you know, you feel for them because you've been through that.
Yeah, and I think that's the key word. You feel for them, and that's why you become part of that family. Exactly. You know?
See, Sam, it's not how much you know, it's how much you care.
Yeah. So, look, you know what? They are great words, and they're meaningful words too, because the proof of your business has grown because of that, 100%. Because you've cared. You just haven't taken it as being a business. No. We're not just selling property. Yeah. And I think the way you've articulated it, Eric, in regards to saying, you know, I'm dealing with someone that's been in the home for 40 years. I mean, I can relate to someone that's close to my heart that's been in the home for almost 60 years, and partner has passed away, husband has passed away. She doesn't want to let go, but the time's coming that she will have to let go. You know, and that's a hard thing, you know. So from a real estate perspective, from an agent's perspective, you can't go in there cold, which is pretty obvious you don't, because you have a passion and a love for Altona.
Yeah, you have to understand their need and then offer the service that matches that.
Yeah. No, it's you know, your words, Leon, are very powerful about caring. because we don't hear that a lot. And you care about not only the residents, the potential seller, you care about your community.
Yeah, it's important.
I've been in Altona since 1975. And I started working in 76 in real estate until right now.
That's all you know. Yeah. And the same, and now you too, Eric. Wow.
Eric was born in it, and the same with his kids. So the generation.
All those nappy changes in the office, Eric. Yeah, a lot of hard work. I just want to say, look, to the three of you, I think you've got a fantastic story, and we could go on forever, there is a lot to say. But if there was something that you had to say about your business and about the growth and the passion for Altona, what would it be?
Being locals, lived, worked, brought my family up here. We feel for Altona, and the clients can see that, so the trust level is high.
Yeah, so with me, I love Altona. I love the people of Altona. The sense of community is amazing, and what we do as a business is always intentional, and it's always to be complementary to the community. So that's how I would summarise it.
I just feel that Altona's provided for my family, and I feel it's a coastal area where it offers beauty, stability for families, and it brings a lot of joy and pride to the local community within the area to raise their children and grandchildren. And I think it's just real hidden gem. Altona is extremely special.
I just want to say thank you to the three of you. This has been a real, it's been a real insight for me too. Not having lived in Altona, but being a part, but it's been a real insight for me. So congratulations on all your awards. Congratulations on your business. I can see many, many more years of that Mancini real estate sign still staying there for years to come. So thank you for being a part of the local. Thank you for being a part of this podcast. No worries. It's excellent. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning into The Local, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to make contact with us and be a guest on The Local, you can get in contact with Scarlett Rose, and all the information is right here on the screen. So thank you once again, and we look forward to you being a part of The Local on our next episode.